Hi everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Persona 5. In the last part we managed to escape with Ryuji from Kamoshida's castle. And in this part I'm pretty much losing my fucking mind.
It seems like people are already talking about you, but
yeah, so my excursion into the other
Can
world
catch your
is
break.
kind of affecting
I have to deal with this.
me here already by
Stopping by anywhere.
the school kind of changing, you know, between the castle and the actual real place, the school, which is kind of interesting.
Don't get involved.
Speak of the devil and he shall appear. I forgot I actually said that actually. It's been a while since I recorded this.
It was nothing.
And you haven't dyed your
Yeah,
hair black either.
Kawakami is a bit
I'll be waiting on the rooftop.
I don't know, she's a little bit whiny early on, but that changes as you go through her social link. I keep calling it social link, I don't really call it by anything else.
Student like him to transfer here. He's already started associating with Sakamoto, a student with a criminal record and the culprit of an assault case.
Kamoshida being a prick.
Plus how much I contribute to the school.
Now don't be like that. This school
Oh look, it's like a... I do love Principal Kabayakawa's like design. So at least it's memorable.
Your troubles never seem to end, do they, Principal Kobayakawa? Alright, I understand. I'll continue to do my best to answer your
That
expectations.
smug face. Just want to punch him right in it. And I do like how they give like little hints that he's kind of like in the real world rather, that there are hints in the real world that he is a bit of a prick with the way he talks to people and that kind of thing. It's kind of a nice little
There you are. Sorry for calling
thing
you out
to
there
show.
like this. I bet Kawakami already told you stuff like don't get involved with him, huh?
Just a bit.
We're pretty much in the same boat. I heard you got
Yeah, it's pretty much the that's pretty much early on what the like the first couple of characters that you meet, the first couple of people who like Ryuji and Ann, they're both kind of in similar boats to you, where it's kind of like there are rumors about them too, and there are rumors about them too, and so you know people kind of avoid them, and they're kind of outcasts as well. Actually, thinking about it, maybe the rumor thing being a big thing early on here, maybe that's a reference to Persona 2, because that was a big part of the plot, was rumors being pushed around the school and those rumors becoming kind of real, so maybe that's a reference to 2.
Against him because he's some medalist who took the volleyball team to nationals. The way Kamoshida was king of that castle felt crazy real because of that.
Letting you know. That is something about the Persona games and Atlas, really. They hammer you over the head with the symbolism.
Sorry to drag you out here like this. That's all I had to say. You know, we might be pretty similar. I feel like we're gonna get along just fine as troublemakers. I'm Ryuji's
Speak for yourself, lad. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna cause trouble. Don't want my ass kicked out of school. So yeah, we're gonna start hanging around with Ryuji a lot more now. I don't understand. I think this would have been better off just like, instead of it telling you to go there and then having this little cutscene, I think it just would have been better just to go straight to that cutscene of you going back to the coffee shop here. I think it would be better. Yeah. More hard time for from Sujiro. Of course I understand. Once again, this plays into a later part of the story, like you think it's one thing but it turns out to be another. which is kind of cool. I like that. I like it. It's like a little bit of sorry, it's a little bit of a foreshadowing. That's the best way to put it. I cut there. That was a bad cut. Time to go to sleep. Nothing weird's gonna happen while I'm asleep. Absolutely nothing. Oh shit. We're going back to Igor and back to our prison cell for more dream shenanigans.
About time you've come to. On your feet, inmate. Our
fuck
master
you.
wishes to speak with you. It's for your own sake that you take his words to heart.
I'll try my best.
Let us celebrate our reunion.
No, thank you.
You've awakened to your powers, and special ones at that.
I wonder why it says it like that.
Rehabilitation
Powers.
can finally
It's kind of like, powers in inverted commas.
There's no need to understand it all for the time being. You will be training the power
that is RPGs in a fucking nutshell. JRPGs in a fucking nutshell. You don't need to understand everything now.
an armor of the heart when confronting worldly matters. I have high
Okay.
expectations for you.
I wonder why they decided to go for masks this time.
There is no need to worry.
Because it's been different in every game, I think. The method that you use to call forth your persona. Because I know in 4 it was like Arcana cards, and in 3 it was like a gun-like device. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word then. It's pretty much just it was pretty much a gun that you put to your head in order to call forth your persona, and like you shot yourself in the head to bring forth your persona, which don't know how they got away with that, but they did.
Others who would prove beneficial to you, I will grant it to them as well. This is all for you to grow.
Yeah, this is the reason as to why later characters like Ryuji and Ann also get the metaverse navigation app. It's just a little bit of dialogue just to explain why everybody who enters the world seems to get, they call forth their persona and then they get the metaverse navigation app. It's kind of I guess just a one sentence thing of, yeah, hand wave it. That's how they get it. Raining. Fuck you, rain. So yeah, I also like this little thing here where they kind of like they have people talking about these various things, talking about the mental shutdowns which are happening and all the events that are happening over the course of the game. Just to kind of ram home, I guess, that yeah, this shit's important, you should be paying attention. I kind of like that, it's useful. I think after a while they just stop doing this and it just goes straight to, and you just end up going from the train car straight, the subway car, straight into this place here, straight into, oops, sorry. Sorry. Straight into the school, so you don't have to see that. So there doesn't have to be that transition.
What's the
Oops.
answer?
Yeah, I'm alright. Sorry. I hit my mic cable a bit there. Hopefully it's not knackered. But anyway, this is something they bring back from Persona 4, where you can answering the questions correctly will improve your knowledge, and knowledge is needed for basically certain social links, and it's just a secondary thing to up your attributes and all that kind of thing. Ironic, given how it's raining outside. This is a bit weird. She's got appendicitis. Yeah, I'm surprised she's still up and running, considering, yeah, appendicitis is not nice thing to have at all. So yeah, this is kind of a little hint, the first little hint of his asshole nature kind of shining through a little bit. And that is also, their relationship is also a major part of the plot coming soon. So yeah, now we're with, sorry about that cough. So now we're with Ryuji here. And we are going to try and... So now what he wants to do is try and make our way back to the castle again to see if, you know, to see if it was actually real or whether it was just them going fucking insane. Alright, let's try then, see what happens.
If a huge castle like that really exists, I'm sure we'll find it in no time. When did they build
I would assure
something
you'd be
like
able to
that, though?
notice it from right here.
We walked that way from here, right?
Maybe?
When you put it that way, I'm not so sure anymore. Alright, this way. Let me know if you notice something.
Okay. Whatever you say, Ryuji. So yeah. This is him trying to make his way back. We made it to the school.
There wasn't anything out of place along the way, right? I didn't see no castle either. We must have made a wrong turn somewhere. Let's try again.
Again.
Don't
Again.
worry, we'll mess up this time. Let's go.
Fuck. More walking. Don't want to walk.
For real?
I do love the acting here. It is really, really good.
What do you think?
But I'm talking about the like the physical acting, the animations. They're all pretty
I already
good and
did
pretty
that.
expressive.
I didn't see anything like it around here. Huh? Phone. Hey, that reminds
That
me.
reading.
Didn't you have a navigation app thingy on back then?
Navigation app?
I don't know if it was or not, but I heard stuff that sounded like one coming from your phone. You know, didn't it say stuff like returned to the real world or something like that? Let me see your phone for a bit.
Sure, just take my phone from me, you prick.
It's a eyeball looking thing.
A cute logo, huh?
What? What a weird app. Oh, wait, this is it! I knew it! It is a navigation app! There's even your search history!
Wow, isn't that convenient that we happen to have a search history?
Let's try using
That's
it.
convenient. I don't think this is a good idea. Tom, are you going to select something? There you go.
Why? All we're doing is starting an app.
Kamoshida. Shujin Academy. Pervert.
Perfect.
Navigation.
There we go! Then we went in a certain direction and...
Yep.
Hey, what are you...
Oh shit, we're being transferred again.
What the hell?
I can't remember whether we, I'm trying to remember whether we actually, whether we go through the first dungeon again here, or whether this is just like just to kind of show that this is what we end up, this is how we get, showing how we get to each of the dungeons. I can't remember. I think we go through it actually. I think so. Because I think we end up meeting Morgana again here.
That means what happened yesterday was for real too.
Just a bit.
Those clothes!
Oh shit. I'm back.
Happened last time too, huh? What's with that outfit?
You jelly? I love that response.
What's going on here?
I love that response.
No weapon sense at all.
Hey,
And it's Morgana. Hey Morgana.
commotion.
You?
The shadows started acting up, so I came here wondering what it could be. To think you guys would come back to the entrance when you barely managed to escape.
Yeah, that's not very clever on our part, is it really? We're not the most intelligent people in the world.
But it's a castle.
This castle is the school, but only to this castle's ruler.
Alright. That makes no sense.
I think you called him Kamoshida. It's how his distorted heart views the school.
Kamoshida?
Yep. So there we go. That's pretty much what each of the dungeons are going to be. It's pretty much
I shouldn't have expected a moron to get it.
sorry. It's pretty much a part.
What was that?
Sorry. It's pretty much a part of the.
For real?
It's a building that the person frequents and kind of how they kind of
Saw other guys help.
see it themselves. Like Kamoshida's kind of like the
Most likely on Kamoshida's orders.
you know, the main guy in the school, so it kind of it's kind of his castle. That's how he sees it.
He must have lost his temper quite a bit.
Uh-oh.
Bitch.
Ryuji?
Yeah, he's really not happy with Kamoshida at all.
You hear me, Kamoshida?
Doing that isn't going
That's not a good idea.
Still, it seems you have your reasons.
Dumbass.
Hey, Mona.
It's Morgana!
Do you know where those voices are coming from?
You want me to take you to them? Well, I guess I could guide you there. But only if he comes with us.
Of course. It always has to be me. Sure, why not? Let's do this thing.
Thanks, man.
Alright, let's do this. Follow me.
Yeah, I remember this part now. I remember this bit now. I'm trying to remember. God, it's been a while since I recorded this part of the game, man. It's been such a long time that I can't really remember what I'm doing. Okay. Yeah, no problem. Let's just get in there. Let's just do some shit. I do love that transition. That's a really cool transition, actually. I really like that. So yeah, we're following orders. I love the running animation. It's like Sonic the Hedgehog. And his spinny feet. Nobody here this time. And I also like how it's kind of wavy. Kind of like how it... it's kind of like... It emphasizes the fact that it's kind of a cognition. Like it's...
Let's go.
somebody's... how someone views the school rather than it being the actual building itself, which I kind of like. So yeah, we've got to go back into the prison area where we were a couple of parts ago. Damn it. It's time to fight. It's time for more fight.
Listen up.
Time for actually some battles. Yay. That should be interesting. So yeah, this is something that is kind of... It was first done in Persona 4, I believe. But it's kind of emphasized upon here, where it's more of... I cut that because we'd already fought that creature. But with this one, it's... there's more of an emphasis on being stealthy. Because before you could like attack the enemies from behind, or you get attacked by them, and other than you being ambushed, it doesn't really affect anything. Whereas here, it's more of like you have to be stealthy and you have to infiltrate the all the way through the dungeon without being spotted. That's kind of more of a... It's a bigger thing in Persona 5 than it was in Persona 4, which is alright. Which is... I guess adds a layer of difficulty to going through the dungeons, which I kind of like. Okay.
Is this a class?
So yeah, this is pretty much the introduction to the save points. These are areas that you can go into and you can save, and you can save your game in here in the dungeons. And at the same time, you can also find... And you can also, like, heal up and stuff. But, sorry, another thing that it does is that it enables you to
It became just
It's basically acts as like a save point. So that sounds stupid. What I mean by that is that once you've accessed this area, and you leave, if you leave the dungeon after going to a save room, you can then go to that room. You can fast travel to that room, so you don't have to re-enter.
You're curious about your
You
outfit,
don't
aren't
have to re-infiltrate the dungeon from the beginning. You can just go in from the last save point that you got
also
to,
because of this world.
more stuff that
which is
Anything to
much
sort
better,
into how
which is
bully lives
a
in his
good
house.
way of
A
doing it.
school can turn into a castle
It was
like
a
this
similar thing in 4, but in 4 it was more
You
of
must hold a powerful will of
you had to
Your
find
appearance
the
is a manifestation
exit
of
to a
that.
floor. Once you found the exit to a
Image of the
floor, that
devil
means
you
you
hold
can
within
fast
you.
travel to the last exit of a floor that you found.
I'm more curious about
But
you
it still
than
means you have
those.
to complete the
How
floor.
are you anyways?
I'm a human. An honest
And that's sort of
human.
a difference from 4 and 5 as well, is that for 4 was
Obviously more like a
randomly generated,
This is
had randomly generated
It's because I
floors,
lost my true
whereas
form.
5 is more, each floor is set.
But I do know how to regain my true form. The reason why I snuck in
Each
here
floor is kind
for
of
a
set,
preliminary
so that's
investigation of
useful.
those means. Well, I ended up getting caught though.
You're useful then.
I've been tortured by Kamoshida too. I'm gonna make him pay for sure.
Okay.
Is this a comic book? This is seriously crazy.
No, it's an anime.
If we're gonna keep going, we should hurry along. I'll be counting on your skills this time too, rookie. Got it?
Don't worry, I'm not gonna force it
You're an
on you.
asshole.
I thought it might help.
Ain't no
so-
rookie. I played this game 3 times.
It's just in case. It's a model gun though, so it only makes sounds.
That's a toy.
But it looks totally real, so it'll at least fake him out.
This is kind of
Some medicine, too.
a
You know what
point
they
which is
say,
introduced,
breathe something.
which seems to make no sense. But
You were playing this
by the end of the
part.
dungeon, by the end of this, the intro part of the dungeon, actually, you it actually makes sense as to why it's brought up here. So we got some medicine. It's our basic healing item for the game, the medicine.
Now then.
So yeah, basically you can stay in here for as long as you want to heal up, to save your game, and then you can just leave. And like I say, once you've left the entire, if you leave the entire dungeon, you can just fast travel to the last save point which you got to. Pretty useful overall. No. I heard nothing.
Okay, let's go.
Alright, here we go. Continuing through the dungeon. Yeah, so this is the introduction of the security level. If you get caught too many times, then it will increase the security level, and if it gets to 100%, then you'll be automatically kicked out of the dungeon, which is, you don't want that to happen. It's never happened to me once though, to be fair, so... New enemies! The gallows flower. And because I'm using endgame weapons, both for Morgana and myself, we're actually getting rid of these pretty sharpish. They're weak to fire, I think, fire attacks, which I don't happen to have at the moment, so...
Okay.
Oh, and I love that music so much. Yeah, that cut was because I was messing about, trying to figure out where I had to go, and then I was like, I'm a moron.
Okay.
There we go. Sorry about that. So yeah, we have to go down this way. Basically, this part of the dungeon, if you want to, you can return to it. Like if you miss any treasures or anything like that, a treasure chest or anything like that. But once you've been through this area, you never go back to it again if you don't want to. Leave it to me. Time to kick ass. Yeah, here we go. This is the introduction for guns.
Point it at a shadow and fire.
So here we go. Get to use the gun, press X to fire, and it hits. And the pixie is weak to And it's a good way of kind of reducing enemy
Be mindful of
damage.
how much ammo
You know,
you
it's kind of a quick way of reducing enemy health. But you do have limited ammo, so
Alright, I'll show you mine too.
but you have a... Oh. Fuck you. Ow. That wasn't nice. Done. So yeah, the guns were introduced seemingly in a silly way, and now we're going to learn a little bit more about them. Here, I think Morgana mentions it here. Yeah, so basically, because it's a cognitive world, if the if the enemies consider the gun to be real, then the gun is real, so it will
Well,
be a real gun. So that's why they can buy model guns and use them in the this world, and not be done for having guns in the real world, basically. Okay, come on. Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, teaching you about a bunch of stuff here. Rush attacks, if you can get all the enemies down, then you can or hit them all at once and cause a greater amount of damage. And it also has tactics where you can either tell them to be,
let's go.
you can either take control of your other party members, so you tell them exactly what they do. You can tell them to go on the defensive,
After all, seeing is
or to just be like
something.
HP and SP, like restorative mules, basically, where they just heal you up. So yeah, and we're showing off the all-out attack here.
Rush on in for an all-out
It's actually one of the things which I find worse in 5 than in 4, the amount of forced tutorial that you get. It seems worse and more apparent in Persona 5 than it does in the previous games. But there we go.
Nice going.
That's the end of the first little section of this dungeon. So yeah, we now know the all-out attack. And we're done. So join me next time for the next part of Persona 5, when we'll be going down to the deeper parts of the dungeon to find out what's going on with all those screaming voices. So see you next time for the next part of Persona 5. See you next time.